Basically, the hybrid program is teaching in a different way where students are put into 3 stations: a collaborative station, an independent station, and a teacher-directed station.
Hybrid learning really emphasizes center-based work with 3 groups. You have a collaborative group, you have a teacher-directed group, and then you have an independent group, usually revolving around a technology piece.
The hybrid program is an instructional model to help students with their learning. Our teachers are rolling out 90 minutes, a 90-minute block. So the first 10 minutes of the 90-minute block, the teachers have a whole group. Then we break down the students into small groups. So we have 3 small groups that are going on.
Students rotate amongst the 3 groups for teacher-directed, where they would sit with me.
The benefit of the smaller group with the teacher center, or the teacher-directed, is that I'm able to give more individual attention to the students.
And we have the smartboard, and we can closely read and really get to work with the students one-on-one. It's a great opportunity for the students to kind of share out. A lot of times in a whole group setting, students don't want to share because they're embarrassed or they don't know the answer. But in the smaller setting with the teacher, kind of gets them talking more.
So it's great for the students, personalizing their learning, giving them the attention that they need to accelerate or to remediate their instruction.
We are working in a small group, which then, again, because of the small group and the proximity to the teacher, they can't really blend into the class. The teacher is there, they're seeing what the student's doing, so they can hold them a little more accountable. The
teacher-directed station is really the strength of hybrid. It allows for students to feel comfortable asking questions, the teacher to really get feedback from a small group of students of questions they may have, how they're doing, what they're confused on, what they're doing well. Can the teacher speed up the lesson? Can they skip various parts because the students already know it? Do they have to slow things down?
As they're practicing in that small group with me, so we'll instruct first and then we'll do some guided practice. And while they're doing that, I can see what they're doing. So I can go to an individual student, I think easier, to be able to look at what they're doing and ask them questions, probe them a little bit to say, why are you doing that? Or maybe, you should be thinking about this because I see there's a mistake or something like that. Or if they're doing well, I can say, hey, you're on the right track.
They go to a collaborative group where they work with one another on an assignment.
Then we have students working collaboratively in another group where kids are reading, responding, they're discussing literature, they're writing, but they're working together.
When you send them to the collaborative station, you can have certain students within that teacher-directed group work together, whereas if you were in a whole group, sometimes they sort of get lost because you don't know. They sort of shrink into the woodwork, so to say.
The collaborative station gives the students a chance to work together through discussion, through making predictions.
In working in the collaborative group, we're getting students prepared for the real world, getting them ready for college and their careers. When we work in any profession, we need to collaborate and to work with a team. So students working with the team in collaborative reading and writing and discussing is really stepping up their learning as well.
Well, the collaboration is really important because they learn from each other all the time, and so what's easy for one student might not be for another, and they can kind of talk and bounce ideas off. And a lot of times the students teach each other better than the teacher can, and they can reach each other in ways that sometimes the teacher can't. So the collaborative is a huge asset.
And then there's an independent group where students will either work on a computer or they can work independently on an essay.
Then we have an independent group where students are on a computer. So we have Compass Learning, which is individualized instruction. Teachers can input different activities and lessons for the students in Compass. And we also have, with our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, we have the Collections online series where there's tutorials where students can be receiving instruction on different skills and strategies that they're currently working on.
We have a great program with our reading curriculum. They just have an opportunity to go on to our webpage, which has quizzes, online quizzes. They have different reading comprehension activities, and so they do that independently.
In the independent station, since we only utilize 4 computers in the classroom, this gives them the opportunity to maybe do a reading piece or finish up work or other assignments that are given to them.
If they're not at a computer, they're reading independently, and they enjoy that as well.
Although we only have 4 computers in the classroom, we're able to allow 12 students per class day to be able to utilize the computers. We spend 25 minutes per rotation, and we do 3 rotations throughout the day.
Well, I think my stations are based, if with that larger class of 24, 3 groups of 8, so each student does get a computer, whether it be a desktop or a laptop. It would be beneficial to have a couple more laptops where, kids in the collaborative group could be working on more project-based activities that go with the lessons.
The benefit for the hybrid learning program here at our school is that the students are able to engage with one another. You may have a student that may be below basic or at a lower level that may never raise their hand in class, and this gives them the opportunity to be able to speak out and express themselves and to be able to participate in our lesson for today.
Students are able to really have their instruction personalized.
Really being able to see who's learning and holding those students accountable.
That it's not one size or one model fits all. It allows for different modalities of learning from each other, learning from the teacher, learning from an online resource, watching videos.
I think it allows you to really zero in on students that are struggling and be able to differentiate your lessons with them.
What makes it work is that the groups are smaller than a whole group class, and the students have a definite assignment to complete. All students love getting on the computers.
Every station they have something that they have to turn in for credit, and getting to interact with each kid, 5 or 6 in a group at a time, that teacher directed, has really shown me, how effective I'm being as an instructor.
And when they're collaborative, they're so engrossed in each other and talking about the assignment and using each other as a resource in order to get an assignment done, that it takes their mind off of, goof and all.
Most of the kids that we've talked to really are enjoying it because every 20 or 25 minutes they get to do something new.
Teacher directed, obviously that's one of the best groups because they're with the teacher, and it's close, personal, and they're able to get things done and not melt into the paint, but they're accountable.
And the small groups are really important so that each child could be able to focus on the work that they have. It also gives me the opportunity to give them work to meet their levels. Like we have students who are basic, below basic, and proficient. So it allows me to give them a chance to be able to work for their individual level and needs.
They seem to like the change. They love the computers. They haven't really complained about, the program and what it does. They seem interested. They like the videos that go with it. So they like it.
It's a great opportunity for our teachers and for our students. I've actually spoke to a few students about the new stations that they have, and they're interested in it not only academically, but they feel like they're getting more support from the teacher.
Through the MCIU, we got a state-funded grant that they partnered with Delliker Strategies.
They received a grant. They're working closely with Montgomery County Intermediate Unit and Delliker Strategies.
That is where we received the 40 new computers for our 4 math classrooms.
So our math teachers had training all over the summer and last year, and they were excited. They were up and running this fall.
We also received professional development that goes along with it.
Basically, the 4 teachers at Eisenhower that were trained this summer, we worked with a girl from the intermediate unit, and we actually went to Keith Valley Middle School in Hatboro and saw the program in action.
We have a great partnership with Ben DeSantis from the MCIU, who comes in weekly supporting our teachers, answering questions, helping groups.
Then we talk on a weekly basis as far as feedback and what he sees going on in the classroom and things that we can try, things that are working. So there's a lot of discussion with that. So our training is more in that weekly interaction that we have.
He's really been great. We meet any concerns or questions that the teachers have, he's there.
We've always done some peer visits, but this year we're actually, as a group, going into certain classrooms for peer visits with a focus. So the focus this year has been looking at the hybrid classroom and what can I take from the hybrid classroom to work for my classroom.
On Mondays, we go to other teachers and we observe and we critique or, positive comments or suggestions that we might offer to them and they offer to us.
And I think using our 4 math teachers as a role model for the rest of our staff, that this is easy, we can do this, and it supports student achievement, is fabulous.
One thing that we're doing this year is we're going to each other's classrooms and we're learning from each other. It's called a peer visit. So we decided in the beginning of the year to start off with visiting math and looking at the hybrid program.
I had 2 6th grade teachers, without even saying a word to them, kind of saw what their other 2 colleagues were doing within the math and automatically implemented in their reading program.
So we did that as a reading team, and we decided to use our core materials and to implement this hybrid model as well.
Well, we looked at the math teachers and saw that the rooms were very functional and that this particular setup was very beneficial for the students.
And I saw that the students were excited. They all were actively engaged in their assignments that the teacher gave.
And we decided, hey, let's try it. If it works for math, it will probably work in other classrooms as well.
And we're supporting each other in the implementation.
Training-wise, we can always learn more from what other schools are doing or what other teachers are doing.
Hearing students say to me, I like this, I like learning, I feel like I'm learning something from you.
So I think the importance of collaboration and our staff working together and doing whatever and anything that is best for students is actually visual here at